All right, Ben Keller with Pennac News. We have Julian Reyes with us to give us an update about his lawsuit against Austin Police Department for shooting his dog Shiner Bock. How's it going, Julian?
It's going.
Cool. So what happened? You got an order from a judge. Can you give us a summary on what it says?
MSJ, the motion for summary judgment came back from Judge Robert Pitman, and he says that the case law in Texas and the Fifth Circuit, which is Mississippi, Texas, Louisiana, supports the police officer's ability to shoot your dog, lie, cover, violate policy, violate laws, and that it's still nothing really unjust about that constitutionally.
Right. So you said talking about the police were lying or some destruction of the truth. In the initial article we wrote, we talked about how the officer that shot your dog said, well, he was just kind of walking at me. He kind of just, was barking. So, and then later, I guess you had a deposition with that same officer, right? And then his story changed a little bit, right? So can you tell us how that?
Yeah, the officers are allowed to build their story as they go, and even when it's transparent and on video, it still doesn't matter because case law still supports their ability to lie on their documents.
So essentially the order that you got says that the officers have qualified immunity, which means they're immune to being
immune to the law.
Right, immune to the law, and therefore you can't get a settlement based on that claim that they shot your dog, right?
You can get a settlement, but you can't get a win.
Right, so, but on the other hand, the judge, I think it was Mark Lane, right? He allowed part of your case to continue moving forward. Can you tell us about that?
I think it was Robert Pitman then. I think Mark Lane was the original magistrate on the case, and then it went to Pitman.
Okay.
And so Robert Pitman is he's a Obama-appointed federal judge. He can't be deposed, really. They're lifetime appointments, and he's liberal and he's for the dogs, but he can't do anything about case law. Case law is broken.
So you're saying his hands, even though you think maybe he would want this to come out a different way for you, you think his hands are maybe tied by the previous laws that have been established regarding cop shooting?
Previous lawyers and previous judges knew what they were doing when they set up these types of case law, and the genesis started not with dog shootings, but it started with some kind of excessive force, or this case law has been built over decades and decades, and you can't overcome it. It's fancy paper that doesn't really support our freedoms and justice.
Right, so how do you feel about the part of your lawsuit that is going to be able to move forward and still in the works, so to speak?
Well, here's my dog Shiner Bock, and so this is what they're trying to say doesn't matter, that it doesn't matter if they shoot and kill a dog in cold blood and lie about it and everybody knows and violate their policy. It really doesn't matter. The city hasn't even denied that they did anything. They're just saying doesn't matter, and the court supports that. So all that's left is the illegal arrest of me. The city, of course, wants to say that they can detain us after they shoot our dogs, and the judge ruled under case law that there's case law that supports that they can't do that, especially for 15 minutes, and especially at gunpoint like they did. They put 3 to 4 guns on me and were going to kill me. The officer said he was going to either kill me or my dog, and, so they can do anything they want. And but when it comes to the arrest, apparently they can't do that part. So I have a small sliver of the truth that can go to justice. The rest of it, it appears that the legal system whittles away the truth until you're not looking at the truth, because you really can't separate the fact that my dog was shot, I watched it, they put me in cuffs, they further traumatized me, and then continued to oppress and harass me for years since then, for 4 years, and arrested me and beat me and all the things. And then the only thing that you can't separate those, they're all tied together. So what they do is they say, we're separating it, we're going to just put the one arrest after your dog, and where there wasn't any charges, we're just going to put that one arrest there, and that's all that's relevant. That's all the truth we'll look at. So those things that are inseparable, they can take apart, and then you're not looking at the whole truth, and that's a problem with the justice system itself. It's not our fault.
Right. So you're not really saying that the judge waffled on his decision. It seemed like in the original story we did, it seemed like he was kind of pulling for you a little bit, but then his hands are tied. And then you mentioned that are you saying cops lie? Cops lie?
Cops lie. They lie under testimony. They've lied under testimony in just simple traffic cases that I've had, and simple filming cases. That's pretty well known, and it's all supported within the system. What I'm actually saying, I'm just saying that the judge did the best he could, because case law in the Stevenson case that he referenced, the officer lied. The officer said this dog charged when he did, and the officer lied and shot the dog, and that was made case law, and it's now.
So none of that mattered, even though the officers lied. It's pretty apparent that they lied.
Yeah, doesn't matter to the court. It matters to you or I. It matters to our lives, our children's lives, our dogs' lives, and our freedoms. And it should matter to justice, but apparently it doesn't. It's not part of justice.
Right.
Truth and stuff is not part of justice anymore because of fancy trickery and pretty paper.
So how do you feel about the case moving forward? Positive or negative? Or can you...
I feel good about it. I wish the city was more open, transparent, and accountable, but they apparently fight these things like this, and they assume the system will be corrupt and give them immunity. And I think it's very telling that I learned about this firsthand. So not from other people's stories, but I went through it myself, and I hope to have a win out of this, some kind of win.
Okay, so as a non-attorney, I have a question. Are you able to appeal the motion summary order that
No, only the defendants can. So they have multiple layers of appeal and multiple layers of protection. We as citizens don't have those. So it's, like I said, it's all stacked against us in like tenfold.
Well, what do you want to say to people out there that always, defend the police and say, well, the cops are there to help you, they're there to protect you, but the cops show up and so many people in Austin have dogs, but what would you want to tell the people, the dog owners of Austin, about Austin police?
Well, if they uphold the police and they support the police and the honor of the police and rule of law, then they would support justice, and they would support making sure that none of their officers were committing crimes or errors like this, shooting someone's dog without accountability. They would support accountability. So if they're anti-accountability, then that's just say that they're pro-terrorism.
All right, Julian. Well, I guess we'll keep it updated as the story moves forward. And this has been Keller signing out with Penag News here with Julian Reyes.